I recently started a new experiment on TikTok to see if I could grow my channel even more. And it wasn't just about growing in followers or views, but it was about growing my blog especially. Because I'm Canadian and I can't make money from TikTok, I need to find other ways to monetize my content. And for me, that means having a blog and getting people to click on the link in my bio to then go to my blog. And then I get money from ads that way. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you my best tip to grow on TikToks. So if you're interested in creating a TikTok that grows, stay tuned to the end for my exact strategy. So for the last 30 days, I have posted on TikTok 3 times a day, every single day. This was quite a commitment because I have plans like any regular person. I couldn't be home always to film new content. So I did end up having to pre-record a lot of content and then post it later when I was out with friends or I was doing something. I would just quickly go on TikTok. I would have already edited the video, but then I just post it at random times because you don't want to post on any social media platform back to back to back. You want to give it some time to breathe. So I really tried this last month to experiment and see what it meant to post 3 times a day on TikTok. This experiment started on October 8th, 2024. It is November 9th, 2024. So I did 30 days of posting 3 times a day. And throughout this, I'll put up screenshots so that you can see the growth and the actual analytics behind all of this. So the first week of doing this, I honestly didn't really see that much growth. So I have my analytics on the side here, so I'm just going to read them off, but I didn't really see a growth at all when I was first posting for the first week. So these are from October 12th to the 18th. In total for that week, I had 398,000 views on TikTok, and that is down 6% from the week before. When I first started this, I was not getting growth. I was actually losing traffic. So of course this is scary, but it's about consistency and staying the same so that we can actually see what happens. So the views, likes, comments, everything was down, which is definitely not a good way to start. And then you get into the second week and again, it's down and there's 398,000 views. It's a little disheartening because prior to this, I was posting maybe once or twice a day and sometimes skipping weekends. And somehow that was leading to more growth than posting every single day. Then you get into the third week of this experiment and I have even lower views and it's 298,000 views, which is down an extra 100,000 from before, which is completely disheartening. In my normal routine of posting every day and seeing trends with my normal analytics, weekends are always lower. People are probably at Halloween parties, they're probably doing things related to the season. To be fair, maybe not the best time, but again, there's always going to be distractions depending on whatever season it is. As much as that might be a factor, it's also just important to still be consistent with it and see what is pattern. But again, no growth, even less, to be honest. Then we get into this last week, and this is when things shoot up like crazy, which I'm going to chalk up to consistency. So from November 2nd to November 8th, we had 470,000 views. So from before, that's like 80,000 from when I first started. So it's up 172,000 views. The growth here is up 57.9%, which is crazy. My profile views, which is a very important metric for me because if people click on my profile, it means that they can click on the link in my bio, which is how I make money on TikTok. That was up 37%. Likes were up by 70%, comments were up by 52%, and shares were up by 29%. These are all extremely important numbers and made this entire experiment worth it. So there's some other important details that came up from this. So if we pull up the analytics for the entire month from October 8th to November 8th, I had a total of 1.8 million views. Now, this is big for my channel, but I know like other creators have like huge channels and I'm still a small one. You have 120,000 followers on TikTok, but I'm a small creator. I've actually been doing this for exactly a year now. So to have that growth over 100,000 followers in a year, this is pretty good for me. So I'll show the screenshot here. I had 1.8 million views in the past month, which is up 32% from the month before. My profile views were at 47,000 for the month and up 22%. The likes, comments, shares, these are important engagement factors, but it wasn't what I was really looking for. Obviously, the likes and comments and shares, that engagement does help grow your content. It means that people are interacting with it, and it means that your content is more likely to be shared out in the algorithm, but it's not what I was going for personally, just because I'm more so looking for a growth in profile views and overall views. One of the most interesting factors that came out of this experiment was where my traffic was coming from. Most of us know when you go on any sort of TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, there's a For You page. So that is a page that is algorithm catered towards the things that you like, interact with, and watch. Another important factor with TikTok and its algorithm is watch time. I did notice as well during this experiment that my watch time for each video was almost at halfway. Most of the videos that I posted are only 17 to 25 seconds long. I do not post long videos at all because I just try and get straight to the point, get people the information that they want and need, and then they can grab the link on my job board or they can keep scrolling, or a lot of the times they end up just saving the video so that they can come back to it later. But one of the most important things that I noticed is that most of my traffic was obviously going to come from the For You page. So that is 59.7%. So about 60% of my traffic was coming from the For You page, which is typical just because that's where most people come from, is they're just scrolling and you come up on their TikTok For You page. But what was super interesting to me is that 34.6%, so about 35%, came from search, which is huge. I was expecting about 90% to be from the For You page just because that's where most people are. But to have such a huge portion come from search in the last month is crazy to me. And I'm going to show you my secret that I have been doing since I first started. It's the reason why I come up first for when you search for remote jobs on TikTok or work from home jobs. So I'm going to insert the video here of what I do. So like I said earlier, I am someone who only creates very short form content, so 20 seconds max. With that though, SEO is clearly big on TikTok with so many of my views coming from search. So the thing that I do that makes TikTok know that my content is relevant to this search in particular is SEO, obviously, but in this particular way. It's not keyword stuffing, it's not hashtags, it's this. When I record a 20-second video and I finish recording, I still continue to record up to over a minute long. And I always record in app as well, just so you know. Once you get to this minute long mark, then this little thing pops up that says, what is your content about? This is how TikTok knows what your content is about. This is where you put your keywords. So every single video of mine, I put remote jobs, and this is huge. This is how TikTok knows that I make content about remote jobs. And if you search remote jobs on TikTok, my face is there and there and there. And when you search it as well, I'm the first profile that comes up. This is huge because of this one little trick. Obviously as well, I do have Adri Remote Jobs as my username on TikTok, which is probably why I come up under the profile section. But for videos, I come up under search as one of the top people, and you see my face multiple times because I have added remote jobs on the video under where TikTok wants to know what your video is about. If you ignore this, your videos will not get categorized. So it's not about having text and then sliding it off screen and hiding the text. It's about telling TikTok, hey, my videos are about this, and telling them exactly where they want to know it. And with having 35% of my audience come from search, I would say that I am doing this pretty well. And I would say that this is absolutely part of why my content has grown so much. I also think that my views have grown so much over the last month is, yes, I've been posting 3 times a day, but you notice in the first couple of weeks, it wasn't growing like that. And I think it's because after a month or so, once they've been able to see that you are consistently doing this, then they start to trust you. And I think that's why it took up until the 4th week for me to actually start seeing those results. Because at first they're just like, what are you flooding the algorithm with? Like, get out of here. And then they're like, oh wait, people are engaging with this. People are watching this. Let's keep posting them. Let's keep putting this out on the For You page. I am so happy with these results. I think I'm going to continue to post 3 times a day, maybe even more. I am wondering if I post something like a 5 times a day, which I could not do consistently because that's just insane. But I'm wondering what that would look like on the For You page, how that would affect my following. But again, I couldn't do it consistently, so they probably wouldn't reward me for it. Whereas the 3 times a day, I can keep up, and I think that it works well. I don't think the key is posting this many times a day, posting at this time, or any of that. I think it's more so consistency and creating valuable content first. Also, creating content in using that SEO trick so that TikTok knows who to put that content in front of. Because the thing is, if your content isn't getting in front of the right audience and they're not watching your video, they're just scrolling away, TikTok doesn't see that as valuable content because it looks like people aren't interested in it. So why would they keep showing it to people? It's why it's so important to be consistent with it, to have a niche and stick with it so that people know that's what you make content for. And it's important to get yourself categorized so that you can get in front of the right audience. These are my tips after doing TikTok for a year, growing an audience of 120,000 followers. And I'm going to continue posting. I'm going to continue to do this, and I will update again in a little bit. If you want more tips on how to grow on social media, if you want more tips on how to work remotely, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon.